Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to the Premier League Forum. We are back again for our second podcast, and we will be talking about the fixtures from last week.
So, guys, just quick disclaimer that we've sort of upgraded our equipment, so the quality should be much better with much less technical difficulties.
All right, so let's get into it. So, first game of the weekend, possibly the biggest in our opinion, was
Everton, Man City, yeah.
Everton Man City. Yeah, big game. Two big teams, obviously, both looking for European football. What were your thoughts on this game, Chingiz?
I mean, this game was such a surprise for me. I mean, considering Man City's lineup wasn't that good, I mean, it's not quite surprising that Everton beat them. It was such a high score. I mean, Zabaleta and Yaya Toure in midfield was always bound to fail against a young and energetic Davies. Also, Lukaku caused them lots of problems to the defense, specifically John Stones.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, they've got a lot of problems in defense. Do you think they're gonna bring someone in the transfer window coming up?
I don't think this one, but I think the next one. I think there will be a mass exodus of players from Man City, specifically the defenders. I mean, Zabaleta, Clichy, Sanya. I think their careers are over in Man City. I think they need to bring up sort of a new set of fresh defenders.
Yeah, yeah, and obviously, this is an amazing result for Everton. We can't really take anything away from them, even though Man City didn't play to their full potential. Do you think they should be looking to Champions League at this point in the season?
I mean, top six is so unpredictable in this season. I mean, all six teams are sort of winning games. Not many of them are sort of losing. So I mean, Man City, if they get into top four, I'll be quite shocked, to be honest. I think they're so inconsistent this season. I don't think they will finish.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see United overtaking them in the coming weeks if they continue with some performances like this.
I mean, what's also interesting is that Ronald Koeman, who actually was one of Pep Guardiola's best friends back at Barcelona, they shared a room together. So I think Ronald Koeman had some sort of idea which tactics Pep Guardiola played during the match. So yeah, I mean, also we need to highlight the brilliance of Romelu Lukaku. I mean, one of the I think youngest top scorers, one of the youngest players to reach 60 goals in the Premier League. I mean, his form this season has been nothing short of excellent.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, he's going to be a player who so many big teams, bigger than even though Everton is a big team, but bigger teams are going to be targeting him in coming years. So hopefully they can hold on to him because he looks like he's enjoying himself at Everton. Anyway, on to the next game. We're going to be analysing my team's performance, which was Leicester City versus Chelsea. Now, honestly, I'm going to say I wasn't expecting much out of this game. It would have been nice to get a tie from this game. A win was a bit optimistic. I don't think we would have gotten that far. But obviously, a 3-0 loss, we got some stuff to work out. And Ndidi made his debut. I wasn't too impressed, but I mean, we did pile a lot of pressure on him to make his debut against Chelsea. I don't think that was right of Ranieri, and I think he's really got to sort out a bit in midfield because he's got Mendy playing the attacking role right now, which he's not really suited for.
Yeah, I mean, well, I didn't actually watch this game, so I only watched some of the highlights on match day. So, what do you think was the main reason why Leicester lost this game?
I think we've just got some defensive frailties. I mean, obviously Robert Huth and Morgan were so good last season, but I mean, I really can't take anything away from Chelsea because they played so well. I don't think any team could have beaten Chelsea when they're having a day like that. It was just an amazing performance, and they picked us apart. I mean, Leicester, we put up a good fight. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, Chelsea were just a better team on the day. And hopefully, Leicester start picking up in the coming games. I mean, I don't think we'll get relegated, but I'm hoping for a win next weekend down at Southampton.
Yeah, I mean, Chelsea look unstoppable right now. I mean, apart from that loss at Spurs, which is sort of very hard to beat them. They're unbeaten at home. I mean, Chelsea, the system, no one has exposed it yet, apart from Tottenham, obviously. I mean, Victor Moses again, such a key player for them.
Yeah,
Pedro,
definitely.
and this game has shown, which we'll talk about a bit later, that Diego Costa, although he is such a crucial piece in the Chelsea team, they still can win games without him.
Yeah, I know. Do you see Diego Costa leaving?
I mean, we can talk about that a bit later, but overall, I don't think he'll leave
Yeah,
in January.
definitely. I think it
Yeah.
was just a rush of blood. But I also think one key factor which led to this defeat also was the African Cup of Nations. I mean, it's kind of a pain for most clubs when when like we have Slimani and Mahrez, who are two of our key players. Slimani, obviously he left and he was in great form, and Mahrez, I mean, he hasn't been in the best form, but still he's a character on the pitch which you want there. And I mean, I was. Yeah, I'm very annoyed when African Cup of Nation comes around, because I don't think too many people
Yeah, definitely.
too many people watch the cup. Obviously, it's great. Every they deserve to have something like that, but I wish they do it at a better time when the teams aren't in mid-season. Because right now this is a crucial point of the season, because this is when the Premier League table especially starts making
Yeah,
shape.
what's especially annoying is that it's not a 4 year gap between the tournaments or a 2 year gap. It happens every year. So basically, any crucial African
Yeah.
players which play in your team will
Yeah.
almost automatically guaranteed.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
go.
And it's getting to a point now where some African players are in fact not going, because they simply
Yeah, like
they-
Joel Matip.
Yeah, exactly. They prefer just to play for their club, who's actually paying them money, and then go to the country. And sometimes they're playing not in very good pitches and stuff like that, and it's something not many players want to go to.
Yeah, I mean, what also was highlighted for me was that um, the difference in N'Golo Kante made. As
Yeah.
you could just see, like, without him, Leicester just don't look the same
Yeah,
team, and
definitely.
the addition
Yeah.
to the Chelsea squad
Yeah,
is just
I mean, we've definitely signed some players like Ndidi and Mendy, and Amarte also, who is gone for African Cup of Nations. Also, he has been, in my opinion, one of our best players this season. But yeah, I mean, we bought players like Mendy and Ndidi to try and imitate the role of N'Golo Kante, but I really don't see anyone taking his place. But I'm not concerned for Leicester right now. I don't think we'll be in the relegation zone anytime soon. I mean, it was top of the table, so I think we just gotta forget about this result and move forward.
Yeah, just final thing. Do you think with the possibility of Leicester, there is a possibility that Leicester may get relegated, although it's unlikely. Do you think that although what Claudio Ranieri has done with the club, I mean, obviously winning the Premier League, one of the greatest achievements in sport, such a good underdog story, do you think that he has a possibility of being sacked if they get relegated?
I mean, personally, I think there is a small chance he could get sacked. I would not vote against him. I would vote against him being sacked. I really like him as a manager. Every manager has their ups and downs in the season, and I think if we do get relegated, we will definitely be rated of players in the summer. But I hope they don't fire him, because I don't see many candidates who are worthy of replacing him. And I feel like if we do get relegated, we'd come back up definitely the season after.
Yeah, definitely. So moving on, the next biggest game, I would say, maybe not in terms of the performance, but definitely probably the biggest, if not one of the biggest, if not the biggest game in England. United versus Liverpool. So I watched this game obviously because I'm a United fan. So my overall thoughts on this game is that it's a very scrappy game in general. I think
Yeah.
both managers came out there not to win, but just not to lose. I think Liverpool definitely started off better in that match, definitely pressing our players much more than we were. I mean, Paul Pogba had a shocker of a game, giving away that penalty.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the media did press on him too much. I mean, obviously, every now and then a player's going to have a bad game. I don't think it's any reason to criticize him heavily as they did. I felt it was kind of unfair towards the team.
I mean, it's not his fault that he has such a high price tag. I mean, he didn't ask to be bought for 89 million
exactly.
pounds.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, the media is just they just keep recycling the same sort of dab jokes, divine jokes.
It's not.
It's just
uncalled for.
I don't think it's either funny or helpful to the player himself.
And what are your thoughts on Zlatan Ibrahimovic so far this season? Are you
I mean, Zlatan has been fantastic this season. I mean, all the reports that he is.
Do you agree with the statement that he's saying he conquered England? Or?
Well, not yet, but being top scorer in such a difficult league is
at that age.
At that
also.
age specifically. I mean, it's not an easy task. I mean, he's just such a specimen. He keeps good shape himself.
Yeah.
I mean, what I would also like to highlight about United's performance is that, I mean, if this game was, I feel like if this game was under Van Gaal, I feel like we would have lost this game.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
I feel like when Mourinho has sort of put in the passion of himself into this team, and although we may not have won this game, we still didn't lose. So this just continues our
unbeaten streak.
Yeah. So
you just gotta. Are you worried about because obviously United went through a stage where they were tying a lot of their games. Are you worried about going back to that, or do you think you're gonna?
I mean, the problem with United is right now is that we're creating loads of chances. I mean, we have such creative players like Mkhitaryan, Martial, Mata, Ibrahimovic, etc. But what the problem is that when these players have the chances, they don't put them away. I mean, it's easy to say, it's easy to laugh at United and say, oh, drew to Burnley, you drew to Stoke, but to see how many chances we had in those games, if we put even 2 of those away, we could have easily been higher up in the table. I mean, there was some statistic that I saw that if United would have put all of their chances away and won those games, they would have been
Yeah.
second in the table, I think.
I mean, and I'd also like to say, I mean, one thing about Leicester doing so bad at the moment, if it was someone like United who had won the season, they're in the place Leicester in right now, they would receive so much criticism. But so far, Leicester hasn't received too much criticism, and they feel like they've gotten away with, oh, we won a title. But for me, that's not good enough. I want the media to criticize them more, and I feel like it's unfair on teams like United or City when they're when they get such heavy criticism for losing just one game, one hiccup, but Leicester are losing constantly, and I feel like that's something the media's gotta focus on.
Yeah,
more.
definitely. The media, basically what the media is trying to do is that the journalists are trying to get as many clicks as possible. They're trying to sell as many papers as possible, and obviously the bigger teams will sell more papers. So United, Liverpool, Chelsea, City, all those front covers will obviously sell more papers.
Yeah.
So it's better for them. What I would like to talk about is Liverpool. I mean, they came when I saw their squad for this game. I thought we should be beating them 3-1, 3-0. I mean, this is not even close to their. Well, it was a pretty decent team, but like the defense was so makeshift. They had Klavan, they didn't have Matip, they didn't have Nathaniel Klein, they didn't have they had a 19-year-old left back playing at 19-year-old right back Trent Alexander-Arnold playing there. So I thought this should be an easy game, but credit to them. I think this has definitely shown that Liverpool, even not with their strongest side, they can still perform much better than others because their game club has them playing as a team, as apart from individuals. So specifically players like Lallana, I mean, he has been such a revelation this season.
Yeah. That was a good review of the United performance. Now on to Tottenham versus West Brom. Now Tottenham, in case you don't know, they won 4-0 against West Brom, and I think something which happened in this game is that Tony Pulis, for me, didn't play the football that he took advice from the critics at the moment where he shouldn't have. Yeah. I am really not, as you probably know from the last podcast, I'm not a big fan of Tony Pulis. He plays very defensively, and that's understandable against big teams like Tottenham. But against small teams, he's got to play more attacking, and his fans are very frustrated with that, rightly so. And I mean, against Spurs, I have no idea what they were doing. They went more attacking than usual, and it's a team which I can understand that they're looking for Champions League football, but I feel like a team like Spurs, if you're a team like West Brom, getting a tie against them, a 0-0 tie like they have done in the past, isn't something to be ashamed of. It's just against the bigger teams where he's got to come bring his more attacking side out, and they have players like Rondon and Chadley who can really perform for them. But in this game, I was so disappointed with them, and Tony Pulis really has to take a look at himself, and decide on what his next move is.
Yeah, I mean, West Brom. I mean, they had such a good start to the season, but they sort of started to not pick up as many points as we anticipated them to. I mean, Spurs also Harry Kane hat-trick. I mean, he's been in pretty good form recently. I mean, coming back from the injury, right back in the goals. I mean, what else? I mean, Spurs are just such a well-run unit. I mean, their home record is impeccable. They haven't lost a game there yet. I mean, this just highlights how competitive the Premier League is. I mean, with every top 6 team winning games consistently, or maybe even drawing them, it's going to be interesting to see who finishes in the top 4 at the end of the season.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, Spurs now are they're about third.
Second, I think.
Yeah, second. I mean, and that for them, that's really great. I'm really happy for Mauricio Pochettino because he's I like him personally as a manager. He came from Southampton. He's shown what he can do. Because Spurs before were a team like Everton, where they were just looking for some European football, but now they're challenging for Champions League football every season, which is great to see, and maybe even the title. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, also the thing about Spurs is that similar to Liverpool, Mauricio Pochettino has them playing better than the sum of their parts. Meaning, if you take a couple of players out of that team, even players like, for example, apart from Alderweireld, I think Alderweireld is the key piece in their team. I mean, if you take any of the players out of their team, they can still function as a unit. They sort of they hunt in packs. They press you, and then also the fans at
I feel like they play very similarly to Liverpool. Actually, they both share a lot of characteristics. But anyway, moving on to their next game. Swansea City versus Arsenal. Now, Arsenal were just coming into this game after a 3-3 tie with Bournemouth, which for them was very disappointing. There had been some small rumors about Sanchez moving to China. So obviously, you'd think they'd be a bit lost. They'd have lost their confidence a bit. But they came out with a 4-0 win, and I can honestly say Swansea with one of the worst. It's Bob Bradley-esque. That performance. Really, 4 goals in the game, 2 of them own goals.
I mean, at home, losing 4-0 at home is just embarrassing. I mean, Paul Clement is coming to this new job. I mean, it's definitely not an easy job, especially for Swansea.
Yeah, exactly. And yes, they did win the week before, but that's not good enough. As we saw with Bob Bradley, he'd win one week and then lose the next 3 games by like 4-0. And I personally like Paul Clement when I looked at him in the interviews. He's also got a great background staff with Makalele coming in. And I feel like if there's any team which will survive, it'll probably be them. They have very good standard players. And again, he didn't play for me. He didn't play Leroy Fair, who for me is one of the best players at Swansea right now, and he should be starting every game as he's their top goal scorer pretty much.
Yeah, I mean also Swansea. I mean they have so many problems at the back. I mean again, as we mentioned in previous podcasts, the departure of Ashley Williams to Everton has they've lost a great leader there. I mean, what else? I think Paul Clement also. I think we should give him some time. I mean, definitely coming into the Premier League is not easy.
That's Swansea's problem. They panic and then they just fire. Bob Bradley, I understand. Yeah. He was.
Is that 3 managers this season?
Yeah, this is the third. Gideon definitely was not given enough time. But also they've brought in a few smart transfers, which we'll talk a bit about later, which hopefully will improve their defense.
But also let's talk about Arsenal a bit. I mean, in terms of
Iwobi played very well this game.
Iwobi was fantastic.
Both own goals were caused by him.
I mean, this also could. I when I watched back this game on Match of the Day, I sort of thought that maybe this could have been a false score. I mean, Swansea in the first opening minutes or so, they actually attacked Arsenal and they were very close to scoring. I think 2 or 3 goals. But then Arsenal obviously had much more quality further down the game.
Yeah, that's the problem though. You can't. Yeah, exactly. Most of these teams in the bottom of the table, they come into games and they play well the first half, 60 minutes, but then they just crumble at the back, and that's something they really got to work on, keeping consistency throughout the whole game. You can't just expect to play 60 good minutes and then crumble at the end.
What's also interesting is that did you see Sanchez's reaction to being subbed off?
Yeah. Also, was he annoyed at his performance, or was he annoyed at being subbed off?
I'm not sure what was the reason for his he sort of basically came off. He was very annoyed, put his hood down, sat on the ground, sort of made a big deal out of it. I mean, looking at his contract situation at the moment, I mean, we keep hearing rumors. Okay, he's been offered contracts by Arsenal. I think one has been rejected because the wages aren't been high enough. I mean, do you think he'll stay?
Yeah. I think he definitely, some teams are going to go after him in the summer. I think he'll stay for this transfer window. But also, some people were saying it's because he thought his performance was bad. I personally don't think it was that, because I mean, he scored.
Yeah, obviously.
And I think it's just the fact that he wants to be playing the full game when he's at a team like Arsenal. And really, they should be trying to, especially him, they should be trying to keep him happy and wanting to stay at the club. Yeah. But anyway, moving on to our next fixture, we are going to talk about Hull City versus AFC Bournemouth. Now,
Marco Silva's first.
Marco Silva, he hasn't lost yet. I think he won in the FA Cup and then he won in this game.
No, he lost in the FA Cup to United.
No, I didn't. No, sorry. What was the other one where he beat Swansea?
Did he beat Swansea?
Yeah, and he did in one of the cups. Whatever. Sorry for that. But anyway, Hull City versus AFC Bournemouth, 3-1 win for Hull City. I watched a bit of the game, and really they were, at the start they didn't play too well, and then at the end I don't know what came over them. That it definitely had something to do with the halftime talk. They just burst into life. Everyone was playing so well. Rob Snodgrass, he obviously performing. So many players were really coming to life. Abel Hernandez also, he hasn't been scoring too much this season, but then in this game he found the back of the net. And it was a great performance all around. I'm really happy for Hull also because they've been on a very long run without
Yeah, I
any
mean
results.
Marco Silva. I mean he's come into doubts, especially specifically with commentators like Paul Merson. I mean I don't
Yeah,
respect
I do not
like,
respect Paul Merson.
yeah, no, I don't think he's just. I think he's just such a. He's stuck in
He
the old.
reacts
yeah,
too quickly.
yeah,
He reacts too
quickly,
quickly. He
and
doesn't.
He's stuck in the old days of football
Yeah.
where things were much more
He
simple. I
doesn't.
mean, an international manager who's managed in Sporting, he's managed at Olympiacos, 17 game win streak. I mean,
They were lucky to
in-
get him.
yeah. I mean, Marco Silva is definitely a good candidate for the job. Also, I feel that I mean Bournemouth is not an easy team to beat. I mean they've had some great performances this season. I mean especially away at home. Sorry, sorry, not away at home. Playing at home against the Liverpool. That great that great comeback against.
Yeah, I
against
mean,
them.
what Eddie Howe was saying, what he's looking for his squad now is consistency. Because I feel like they'll win a match or tie a match, then they'll lose the one after, and they never get a string of wins coming along. They'll win, lose, tie, lose, win, lose. And
Yeah.
for a team like Bournemouth, I honestly wouldn't be too annoyed with that. They've got a very young squad, but a good squad also. And I feel like Eddie Howe's definitely the man to bring them forward.
Yeah.
And I feel like they shouldn't fare for relegation at all this season. They've been great so far, and this is just a minor setback.
Yeah. So Bournemouth obviously. Yeah. So tough game for them.
Yeah.
So those were sort of the main games that we noticed this game week. I mean Sunderland also getting beat by Stoke City 3-1 at home.
Yeah. I mean, do you think
just
Moyes should start fearing for his job?
Yeah, I mean I think he's definitely gonna get
and
sacked.
and also we got to talk about how Peter Crouch, he's been scoring regularly now for Stoke. I'm really happy. I really like Peter Crouch personally. He's he's a great guy, and he to see him scoring again at an old age, and he's just, for me, he's the weirdest player ever. He's so like tall and lanky, and like he's just all over the place, and like he wins every header.
Limbs.
Limbs.
Hashtag limbs.
#limbs. Make that a hashtag, everyone. #limbs. But that was a great performance from them. Also, another result we should probably talk about was Burnley Southampton. Now there are some
continuing their home form.
Yeah, quite a few things to talk about in this game actually, but we'll go over them. We'll go over them quite quickly. So firstly, we got to talk about Joey Barton on his game back, scores a stunning free kick, bottom corner, beautiful. I mean, I think Rangers made a real mistake. Obviously, he can be kind of a prick sometimes, but I think Rangers made a real mistake letting him go. As you can see, I mean, he's scoring in the Premier League. He'd definitely be scoring in the Scottish League.
Yeah.
He's just the man Burnley need, actually, in my opinion. He's a strong, consistent player, and he scores quite regularly. So hopefully he'll continue like that for Burnley.
And finally, just West Ham getting a big win, a much needed win at home against Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace.
3-0 against the Sam Allardyce team is not easy. I mean, his defense is usually pretty well organized. I mean, maybe it's just some of the stuff that's still carrying on from Alan Pardew. I mean, West Ham, obviously a great result for them. But moving on to transfers, and speaking of West Ham, Dimitri Payet this week has come out and said that, well, not him, but Slaven Bilic has said that Dimitri Payet is asked to leave West Ham and is refusing to play for the club. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I can understand why he wants to leave, 'cause he's coming into his old age, and I feel like West Ham should let him leave. I feel like he shouldn't be leaving halfway through the season, though. I feel like he should wait until the end of the season. Then he'll probably have more time to make his choice. You know, maybe more clubs will put forward their offer, and who knows? Maybe West Ham might come up in the table and they'll play really well, and he'll decide, I don't want to leave. I love this club. I feel like
I highly doubt that, to be honest. I mean, once you say that kind of stuff, I mean, the fans start to hate you. The players, the teammates that you're playing, they start to hate you.
Yeah, but I feel like he should have done that before, though.
Yeah.
But now it's way too late that he's refusing to play. He's refusing. I feel like also some people are calling him like wrong for not playing for the club. But I feel like if he continues to play for the club throughout the transfer window, and he plays well, West Ham will have even more of a reason to hold on to him. And they probably won't let him leave. So if he refuses to play for them and he's showing that he really has no interest, I feel like they'll let him go.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting about Pai is that there's always when a player wants to leave a club, there's sort of the club isn't in a good position. Obviously, West Ham right now compared to the season they had before.
Definitely.
I mean, but the club that he wants to leave for, Marseille. I mean, I understand he's from there, but they aren't in a better
Yeah.
position.
I mean,
Well, they are like in
they
the league,
they are
but
yeah.
but
I
they're
mean,
not a bigger
they
club
aren't
than West
yeah.
Ham.
They aren't a bigger club, but I feel like Payet has never really played. Well, from my knowledge, I don't think he's really played Champions League or Europa League football, and I feel like that's something on his bucket list to do before he leaves. And I like West Ham personally as a club, but I feel like that's something definitely this season, maybe next season, they can't really offer him. So I can understand
In
completely.
my opinion, I think this is a terrible move from Payet. I mean, just respecting the club that sort of started your not professional career, obviously, but they sort of kickstarted you. I mean, to the player that you are now. I mean, that's just so disrespectful.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely could have handled it.
and just showing they're just thinking that you're better than everybody else. I mean, I don't think West Ham have that sort of team unity that other teams have.
But also they showed, just going back just for 1 second to the game, they showed they don't really need him. They won 3-0, and I feel like they shouldn't act like this is the end of the world that Dimitri Payet's leaving.
It's okay.
Sorry, but talking about Depay.
Yeah, Depay.
On to our next transfer. As a Man United fan, what are your thoughts on Depay to Lyon? I personally don't think you guys gave him enough of a chance.
Definitely. Well, I think the worst thing that has happened to Memphis Depay was the signing of Anthony Martial. I mean, Memphis Depay, when he came to the club, he was meant to be that successor to that left wing spot. But I mean, as soon as Anthony Martial came in, it was clear who was the better player, at least at Man United. What is shown. I mean, Depay also he started up pretty well. I mean, but the funny thing about Depay is that his best performances for United were against Midtjylland, Club Brugge, and PSV. All of these clubs are not big clubs or have a particular quality about them.
Definitely.
I mean, if he wants to become that next level of player, he needs to start performing against the big teams. I mean, I'll be looking forward to see how he does at Lyon. I mean, playing against.
I think that's a very interesting move. Yeah. It's going to be cool to see.
Yeah, and there's also some rumors that we've included a buyback clause, so just in case something. But some sources are saying that there is one. Some sources are saying there isn't. I mean, it will be interesting to see how that develops. So Depay, I think it'll be a good move for him to go to Lyon, get some football. I mean, he hasn't played in a while. So yeah, Depay, good luck to you. I mean,
I mean, obviously, I have nothing against the guy. So good for him moving there. Next up on our list, what are your thoughts on recently? The news has come out about Fonte wanting to sign or West Ham targeting.
Yeah, there's actually quite breaking news. I've just read it on Twitter that West Ham are actually close to signing Font after he submitted the
transfer request.
Transfer request to leave Southampton. So, I mean, West Ham they definitely need some defenders. So I think Fonte is a good experienced Premier League centre back that can definitely help their.
One thing we got to talk about is another failed West Ham bid for Sonny. They are simply these offers are pathetic. Hull City are not going to sell him for those kind of price tags.
£6 million for Robert Songas,
it's
one
just
of the crucial players.
It's just not. It's not. Except for me, that's just. Are they blind? I mean, he is their key playmaker, key goal scorer. They've definitely got to give a higher price tag. And even then, I don't even think they'll give him away. But right now, I don't know what the hell they're doing. They're just. They're just throwing money around.
I mean, when West Brom are in talks with Watford for signing Igalo, I mean, obviously not the same type of player for £17 million, and Robert's not. And Igalo has been absolutely terrible this season.
He's been crap. Honestly,
he's been.
He couldn't hit a barn door. Yeah, no, that's so true. He hasn't been. He played well for half of the season last year, but now.
And so definitely more money needed.
Final, just quickly, final signing: Patrick Bamford to Borough. I feel like this is a good move for him. He's not like Nathan Ake has been loaned off so many seasons. So has Bamford, and Nathan Ake is always being Nathan Ake. I feel like he's not going to play for Chelsea anytime soon. Bamford realized this, and he was like, "Hey, I could probably do something at Middlesbrough," and he's gone there, and I feel like that was a good move for him. Cause
in my opinion, he should have never left Middlesbrough from his loan spell.
Yeah,
he was the top scorer.
He was playing. But then also they didn't get promoted that season, so it's but now I feel like I hope he does well at Middlesbrough, because again, Chelsea just not giving their youngster a chance, loaning him off. Yeah. And let's hope he does well.
And also speaking of Chelsea, Costa. I mean, there's rumors that Conte and so basically Costa had an argument with a fitness trainer at Chelsea's training out, and Conte got involved as well, allegedly telling him to go to China. So apparently Diego Costa has sort of followed up with his advice, and he's now getting offers from a Chinese
I feel like
club.
this is just one of another of Costa's like spoiled brat moves.
He's such a mercenary.
He's so like he's all it's so I'm not even surprised he'd react like that. I don't think he's gonna go to China.
Definitely
I
not.
think he
don't
just
think
was
so.
trying to teach Conte a small lesson.
But I mean, Conte. I mean, that's what I respect about Conte. I mean,
he doesn't take any shit.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a respectable man.
Yeah. I mean, Costa is such a crucial player to the team, and he's not afraid to get rid of him. I mean, also, what's interesting is that the new Chinese club rule is that a Chinese club is not allowed to have more than 3 international players on the pitch at the same time. So that could be a problem for Costa.
Yeah. But anyway, moving on to
let's get some predictions in for next week. So
yeah, these are just gonna be quick. Quick
fire.
Quick fire. So first.
Liverpool Swansea.
I think
win for Liverpool.
definitely win for 1 or 2-0 though. I don't see them. I feel like Swansea this week are going to be working on defense with Paul Clement, but hopefully Swansea come away with something. Bournemouth Watford. I think it's going to be a win for Bournemouth. Watford have been in terrible form lately.
Yeah, I mean Bournemouth obviously, even though against
Walter Matari.
even though Bournemouth are playing some great football. I mean, they're not picking up consistent results, but I still feel they have enough quality at home, especially at home. They have a pretty good home record.
Palace, Everton.
Yeah, they're 11th at home, 11th place at home. So so I think that's definitely a 2-1 win for Bournemouth. Crystal Palace, Everton.
I feel like Everton after beating Man City 4-0.
Yeah,
Crystal
Palace.
They'll be flying high. I feel like Crystal Palace are going to be shaking in their socks. Sam Allardyce really needs a win though. He's got to do something there to turn it around for Crystal Palace. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean Crystal Palace. I mean, some of the best fans in the Premier League. I mean, away from home isn't easy to beat Crystal Palace, but I mean, Everton. I think they have the necessary quality, especially Lukaku in form.
Middlesbrough, West Ham, 0-0 tie again for
Middlesbrough.
Once again.
Middlesbrough, the most average team in the
most average team in the Premier League. Stoke City, Manchester United. I feel like that'll be a good game. I think Man United will come away with.
I mean, Stoke are in good form. I mean, but still, I think this is a must-win game for Man United. A draw is basically a loss for them for us at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, Stoke City. Who did they have? Joe Allen, Peter Crouch. If Peter Crouch scores against United, I'll just liquidate.
And up next, West Bromwich Albion versus Sunderland. Sunderland. I hope for Moyes' sake they get a win here. I feel like if they're going to pick up a win, it has to be now.
Yeah.
West Brom obviously have been in good form, but Sunderland need this. And but it doesn't help with frickin' Vito Manone and goal.
Yeah.
They need Jordan
I mean, West Brom also, the defense at home has been. I mean, West Brom are 10th in the Premier League table based on home results, which is pretty good. I mean, for a team of their size. So West Brom, I don't know. I think I can see a draw here.
Yeah, I can see a draw, but I'm actually rooting for Sunderland to come away with the win because I do not like Tony Pulis. Hopefully he'll take my advice and play more attacking. Big fixture of the week, everybody. Big fixture. Alarm bells. Manchester City, Tottenham Hotspur. I mean, what are your predictions?
Man City at home, not in great form. Pep Guardiola sort of feeling the pressure. I'm gonna have to say. I want it to be a draw.
I mean, Spurs beat Chelsea when they were in good form.
But that was at home.
That
not away from home. I mean, I could see an upset here. I could see an upset.
Yeah, I could see an upset. Maybe a tie. Who knows?
I hope it's a tie.
A game like this, I feel, is so unpredictable.
Yeah, but I'm going to go for 2-0 Spurs.
Southampton, Leicester City. Just please not another loss. Just honestly, please. I will be happy with a tie. I'll be overjoyed with a win. Just please. Southampton have been such bad form lately. They have freaking Yoshida in defense. We need this win. We need this win to boost us up the Premier League table. We go above Southampton. I'm pretty sure we win this. And this is something we need. I'll honestly be happy with a tie. And I can see us doing well in this game. Hopefully Ndidi.
I mean, Ndidi. If he scores a goal, I mean, you'll be over the moon.
Yeah, I will be crazy. I will be going crazy.
So I'm gonna go for.
Choose wisely.
2-1 Southampton. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, both teams have been in pretty bad form lately. I wouldn't be surprised if Leicester lost.
Yeah.
Let me down again. Yeah. On to Arsenal Burnley next. I mean Burnley away from home.
No, they're terrible away from home. I mean,
Burnley are
let's just
just
check here. They're
They're
last.
last.
They're
They're
last.
1 point away from home.
Well, yeah.
That is the worst. Oh, that's worse than Leicester, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Leicester at least have 3 points away
Yeah.
from home. Jesus. But yeah, they are last away from home,
Yeah.
and that for them. I mean, yeah, it's Arsenal. Arsenal gonna
Definitely,
win this,
definitely Arsenal win.
And finally,
Chelsea, Al
Chelsea,
City.
Al City.
Ooh.
I feel
No, Chelsea. Are
this
gonna
is where
win.
this is where we're gonna see though
Yeah.
what Marco Silva's
Really
really
about,
really
yeah.
made though.
Yeah.
If he can get a result here, I will honestly
respect them.
consider I will have respect for them. No, I will consider them staying in the prem maybe
Yeah.
because it's been done before by Leicester, but hopefully
Yeah.
it can be done again by these boys.
I mean, so those are the predictions. Okay,
Boys.
so just three awards for this week. Who do you think has the best goal of the week?
Best goal of the week.
Andy Carroll.
We all
Andy
know
Carroll.
Andy Carroll. Wilfred Zaha. No, I'm sorry, Andy Carroll. By the way, I apologize for saying Wilfred Zaha had the best goal of the week last. I just wasn't thinking straight. Question took me by surprise, but yeah, Andy Carroll definitely.
That bicycle kick.
Worst team performance of the week. It has to go to Swansea City. Two own goals, 4-0 loss.
Yeah, I mean.
There are some big results this week.
Yeah.
But I think they were definitely the worst, and also Arsenal weren't in the best form before this, so to lose 4-0 wasn't.
And finally, worst performance of the week. I mean, for me, this has to go to Man City, definitely.
Didn't we just do that?
Sorry.
Worst team performance of the week.
Yeah.
We just said Swansea.
Yeah, but no, for me, in my opinion, it has to go to Man City.
Sorry.
In my opinion.
Sorry, everyone.
I mean, yeah, Man City, considering the money they spent, I mean, you can't be playing Zabaleta and Yaya Toure in
Disgusting.
midfield, against such a sort of energetic Everton midfield, especially with the likes of Ross Barkley. So for me, it has to be Man City. So yeah, so guys, this was the second episode of the Premier League Forum. and we hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed it. We're just starting out. We're really willing to take any suggestions you guys got. If you want us to talk about other leagues briefly, or just tell us what you want us to talk about. Tell us what if you disagree with our what we're saying. Tell us in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe.
Yeah, definitely like and subscribe, and just so any suggestions are welcome. Any segments you would like us to see talk about, any teams, any specific players, we're always open to suggestions. So this has been the Premier League Forum, and thank you for listening.
And we'll see you next time, boys.